Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm trying to, what's the word? Manifest the fall weather coming in slowly but surely by wearing a pretty chunky sweater today. I feel like it'll help. I don't know, it makes me feel more fall even though I'm sweating right now. So anyway, today I have a fun video. I haven't done like a sit down talking video in a hot minute, at least I feel like I haven't. But today we are going to be talking about unpopular book slash just reading book world opinions. I've seen a few of these videos. I think they're very interesting because everyone has different opinions. Obviously that's what makes book world and reading so amazing. You know, books are subjective of reading and your opinions and tastes and everything is so personal. That's why I love this. I got so many different opinions. Most of them were honestly pretty popular. Like I got a lot of the same ones, so I didn't really include those. A lot were Colleen Hoover related, if you could imagine, which I feel like isn't unpopular anymore, but we'll get into that in a few. Got some good ones that we're gonna be talking about. I have my own, honestly, unpopular opinions. Screenshot of the ones I'm gonna show, and I feel like throughout them, I feel like my opinions are just gonna come out naturally with the ones that I've chosen. So you'll get my opinions, we'll read yours, we'll talk about it. You guys can comment down below your unpopular opinions, if you agree with any of these, if these are any of yours, how you feel. We'll get right into it, but first, that time of the month, I got new cases from Casetify. I am so beyond excited because I've been wearing this mochi one for so long and I got new designs. You guys are gonna love them. So this one is just kind of a little drawing thing going on, and then I have You're My Favorite Person in the World, which I thought was like really cute. Appreciate originality for the good days ahead, and then it's just like around the sky. I think I'm gonna do You're My Favorite Person in the World, honestly, because I'm seeing Harry Styles tonight and he's my favorite person in the world, so maybe he'll see my phone and be like, wow, thank you. But they have a new iPhone 14 Impact Series cases, and they have this new EcoShock technology that protects your phone in your daily life and beyond. Like in every way, your phone is protected with these cases, which is the best thing ever because I personally drop my phone like it's my job. It's amazing having these cases and making sure my phone is protected. It's 20% increased protection, and they managed to keep it slim so that it's perfect in your hands and your pocket. It also has an increased drop height, which we love the drop test. This is up to 11.5 feet, which is insane. Let's go do that now. I'm going to show you that you can drop your phone at an insane height and nothing will happen. Your phone will be fine. This is my phone right now. No cracks. Nothing wrong with it. My background, my screen. Let's go drop my phone on my hardwood floor. Doesn't that sound fun? Alright, let's go to my normal situation on my couch. I'm gonna stand on that and drop my phone. This is always the scariest part. 1, 2, 3. Okay, no cracks. Perfect. My dogs are very scared right now because they have no idea what's going on. Okay, so that was fun. The Casetify cases also are 5 times the military standard, which means these cases have been drop tested 130 times to make sure that the EcoShock doesn't wear off, and that when you drop your phone, as many times as you drop it, your phone, your case, everything will be intact and will be fine. One of the best parts ever is their sustainability. Their cases are made from 65% recycled and plant-based material, and they're partially made from upcycled phone cases, which is part of the Casetify system. So many reasons to get Casetify phone cases. Whether you're upgrading to an iPhone 14 or not, you can head to casetify.com for their latest iPhone 14 Impact Case Series, as well as their cases for iPhone 13 or earlier devices, whatever phone you have. And you guys can go to casetify.com/SarahCaroli to get 15% off your order. That will all be in the description. I really recommend. These are my favorite cases literally of all time. So cute. Into the video. This is gonna be a fun one. I've screenshotted a bunch of unpopular opinions. I feel like some of them are related to authors, some of them are related to books in general. There's like a range of them, and I think I got a big enough range that we're talking about a good amount of things in this video. I'm gonna try not to get controversial. I feel like unpopular opinions is hard because being that they're unpopular, you're gonna get a lot of disagreement in them, and that's where it gets rough because when someone disagrees with your book opinion or reading opinion in general, it's a scary territory sometimes. We're just gonna get into it. Okay, first one, starting off strong. Different book sizes are so annoying. I don't think we talk about this enough. Unless you don't collect books for your bookshelves and you're just reading, you get your library book, you don't care about what it looks like. The aesthetic purposes, this probably, you don't care about this opinion and this just doesn't affect you. Personally, I hate different book sizes, and I'm not talking about like the length of the book. Obviously, it's gonna be a different size because of the page length, but when the books are, for example, we have the Summer I Turned Pretty, normal book size. I think this is the average size of a book, right? The Off-Campus series. Why is the length of it that tall? And then, Things We Never Got Over. It's a thick one, but it's so short. It's just like, you can tell like the 3 of them are just different lengths, and it bothers me so much putting these on my bookshelf. I have to like specify and like strategically put them up there, and it's just, it hurts to look at. So I can't keep these together because it's just gonna bother me. But I think about this a lot. Whenever I see a book that's like a different size than an average book, I just get upset, truly. And I know it's not that big of a deal, but it's just, I don't know why, it just bothers me. There has to be a publishing reason, right, of why these books are like that. Dog earring pages can be really useful. I feel like people hate on dog earring pages. They understand that it like ruins the page of the book, but like I agree, because I literally last week was reading Court of Thorns and Roses. I didn't have any annotating tools with me, and I dog-eared pages as I was going that I wanted to go back to and annotate, so it's very useful. And I feel like it's easier to find pages that you want to go back to when it's dog-eared rather than having like annotations. I don't know, I like dog-earing pages. I'm not a hater of it. If I don't have a bookmark with me, if I don't have something to hold my spot either, I'll dog-ear a page. I feel like it's very frowned upon because you don't want to ruin the pages, which is understandable. Unless it's someone else's book, they tell you not to do it, but like it's your book, I don't know, I feel like it's fine if we can normalize dog-earing pages. This one's a little, I guess it's not harsh. I'm gonna say, judging what people read is so stupid. Like the new Colleen Hoover hate on TikTok. And this is, I feel like this shouldn't be an unpopular opinion. I feel like we should just all around understand and know not to judge people on what they read and not to judge anyone on their taste in books. We should all just be happy that the book community and reading has become so popular. I'm so happy that people that used to not hate on reading but just like would never pick up a book are now reading. And I feel like it shouldn't matter whether they're reading Colleen Hoover or whether they're reading classic books. Reading is reading. And I feel like this whole TikTok hate thing, like TikTok scares me. Book talk scares me, which we will get into in a little, but the Colleen Hoover hate on TikTok and just like in general is insane to me. If you see people out there picking up Verity or picking up It Ends With Us for the first time and then you hate on them for it, it's just like it's hard, because I feel like people that also are hating on the people that are now picking up Colleen have already read the Colleen books. These people are just newer in the game, and when people are out there saying that their favorite book is It Ends With Us, just because you didn't like it and you find parts of it cringy or you just think it's like a horrible story, it's whatever, I just don't understand where this hate is coming from. And I feel like it's so just mean. It doesn't matter what people read. Literally, like I said, they could be reading young adult books or they could be reading literally anything. It doesn't matter. Reading is reading. It's so subjective. It's so personal. You don't break someone down because they like a book. Because I like Ugly Love. I liked November 9th. I liked all these Colleen books, and when I see TikTok saying like, oh, you don't read, it's like, no. I liked your books. I enjoyed them. I read other books, but that doesn't mean I don't read. I read words on a page. That is reading. You know, you don't tell someone they don't read. I feel like this whole thing started just because of how much hype Colleen got, and when a book gets so much hype, there's so much attention on it, and it's just like you get all these opinions, but there's just like this weird space in TikTok where the negativity comes, and it's just so like not a nice place to be. That's my TikTok rant, my book talk rant. I have more to say about it in a different unpopular opinion, but let everyone read what they want to read. I think this is a really unpopular, like I don't see many people not enjoying the Addicted series. This one's, I didn't like the Addicted series. Everywhere I see, everyone's obsessed with the Addicted series. I personally loved it. I didn't finish it. I think I have 2 left. I can't say anything about the rest of it, but from what I've read, I absolutely love the series. I feel like it's like they're real people, and that's what I loved about it. It felt so realistic. But I never see opinions of people like just not liking it, which is obviously okay. Like I said, people's opinions are different. I love when like books are like super popular and super loved by so many people, and then you get those few people that didn't like it. I love hearing their opinions on why they didn't like it, because then you kind of see the other side of it, and it's so interesting. I love having conversations in books and different opinions. Like these opinions are literally my favorite thing ever, because you can start so many conversations. But I think this one was really unpopular because I never see anyone that didn't like the Addicted series. Usually people don't like the first or the second-ish. It's a little harder to get into because there's so many books, and like the further you get in, like I feel like the better it gets. Like eventually everyone ends up like absolutely loving it, I feel like. So it's interesting. I feel like you can't have full opinion. This is one of my own popular opinions. I feel like you can't have a full opinion. Like you can't say like I don't like the Addicted series if you only read the first book, you know? It's the series. Like read majority of the series, and then if you still don't like it by like the 4th or 5th book, then like okay, you don't like it. I feel like if you read the first one and judge it off of that, I feel like it's not right, because I read the first one, I didn't love it. I was like, where's this hype coming from? But as I kept going, I loved it. So I feel like then you can form that kind of opinion. I feel like just give it a chance, you know? Romance subplot is greater than romance books. I agree. I agree so hard, because I feel like when you're reading a book, say it's a fantasy or even just like a fiction book, it's not just focused on the romance. It's not like the main star of the show. It's not romance. I love it, because when that romance comes, I just feel like it hits more. I feel like it makes you appreciate it more. And I feel like when it's just a full-on romance book, like you're getting romance, you're getting the usual. But when you get the subplot of romance, it hits so much harder. I absolutely love subplots of romance, but it has to be done well. I feel like if it's just like a random little romance, like I don't really care. Like when you really feel it and like you wait for those little subplots to come, so good. Standalones are greater than series. I feel like a lot of people are series people, or like a lot of people that I see online love series and can really get engrossed in a series. You know, you can really get into the world of books. I feel like that's why a lot of people read. Separate yourself from reality, get into a book, get into their world, and I think that's why a lot of people like series. But me personally, I think I agree with this one. I am more of a standalone girl, even though I do read series. I feel like I read series because they're popular for like videos and stuff. I feel like reading series and getting my opinions on them, but for me, I either get stuck in them, I get not in a slump, but it's like slower for me to get through them. I have to take a break if I can, and I just feel like standalones are so much easier. And I know you're not getting as much potential, but I feel like some books don't need to be a series. Is that an unpopular opinion? I think it is. I think some books don't need a sequel, don't need a trilogy. Like, yeah, it's nice to have more in their world, but like sometimes you just don't need that. That's a personal opinion. This one was, I think this one's really unpopular. They say I hate short chapters. I feel like everyone I know loves short chapters, including myself. I feel like maybe people might not like them because you can't get a lot of details in them. But one, for me, reading short chapters, like I feel like I'm accomplishing so much more. Like I'm reading a page of the chapters, then I'm like, okay, I'll keep going. I feel like when the longer the chapter, I'll like pause and I'll like wait to read it. Like I don't want to read it right away because it's so long. Like when it's a short chapter, I'll just keep going and I feel like it makes me read faster. I don't hear a lot of people say that they hate short chapters, so I think this one's pretty unpopular. I kind of like hardcovers, maybe more than paperback. This one I feel like is super unpopular. Again, I feel like a lot of people I talk to and everyone I really know loves paperbacks and hates hardcovers. I personally was a big hardcover hater for a very long time until I just blacked out. Nothing was in my head for a second. Until I realized how many hardcover books that I had that I just didn't read, and they're like good stories. I just don't want to discriminate a book because of the way that it's held and the way that it's made. And some of my favorite books are hardcovers, so it's like you pick and choose what you want to do and what you want to read. But like holding it definitely for me is harder, obviously, than a paperback. It's not malleable, you know. I don't mind them anymore. I think we all need to just like get over the fear of hardcovers. It's a hard one to figure out and overcome, but I don't mind them anymore, really. I mean, I won't really go out of my way to get one. Like if there's an option for either one, I will get a paperback, but I think a lot of people like paperbacks over hardcovers though, so this one I felt was unpopular. Alright, this one is for all my ACOTAR people, because I saw this and I was just like a little shook. So if you didn't read ACOTAR, just like skip over this one. Tamlin over Reese. And okay, if you were telling me first book, give me your opinion, Tamlin 100%. If you keep reading, I want to know so bad why it's Tamlin over Reese. I can see little glimpses because I think that Tamlin does love Farah. Like I do. I'm only on the third one. I just think he doesn't know how to handle it and go about protecting her and doing what's right for her and letting her be her own person, whereas Reese does that. This one was really unpopular for me and I was just like, oh my god, someone's not a Reese stan? Romance books should not exceed 400 pages. Someone else's opinion was if they should not exceed 500 pages, and I think that one's even a jump. I think if a romance book is like over 450, it's like, what? Why? There's only so much you can do in a romance, I feel like, for it to be that long. Unless if the plot is like not just their romance, like you have other little subplots of things. I feel like if you have just a straight up romance book, there's no way it should be that long. I recently read a book that was like 600 pages, a romance book. At one point in the book I was like, okay, now it's like wrap it up. I agree. There's not like that much detail that you need for a romance book for it to be that long, unless the story I feel like needs it. But like majority of the time, there's no reason for it to be that long. This hunker right here, 557 pages. I loved this book. I loved it so much, but it's not just about Nox and Naomi. It's about Naomi's niece, and it's about the community and the family and figuring out the thing with Naomi's sister. Like there's other little plots in it where it's like not just about the relationship. But if it was just about Nox and Naomi for 600 pages, I would be like, okay. Again, like wrap it up. Cinnamon Roll Men over Grumpy Men. I feel like I see so many people that are obsessed with like Grumpy Sunshine and just like grumpy men, and for me personally, I agree. Cinnamon Roll Men, there's just something about them where it's like they're so just golden retriever that just makes it so much better. I absolutely love it. Like it's always like the banter's amazing. They're so like not innocent, but just like the way they come off is like innocent, but then they're not. And I feel like Grumpy Men, it gets repetitive and it's just the things they say are just not realistic. And I know books like don't need to be realistic. It's fiction, it's a book, but I just feel like sometimes the Grumpy is just too, they take it too far. It has to be done right, Grumpy, for me, but I agree. Cinnamon Roll Men over Grumpy Men any day. DNFing books shouldn't make you feel so guilty. I agree. I've DNF'd a few books, but there's always this thing where I feel like when you DNF a book, it shouldn't make us feel so guilty. I feel like it does. I feel like everyone gets guilty DNFing, so I guess it's not that unpopular, but I feel like we always have the chance to go back to it. Instead of DNFing a book, we should like change this up and just be like, I'll come back to it. You know, I'm DNFing it for right now. I'm not into it. I don't like it. Unless you like actually hate it. I've DNF'd some books where I put it away and I'm like, I'll come back to it one day maybe. I tell myself I will. I feel like that makes the guilt not as bad. Just tell yourself you'll come back to it even if you probably won't. Because I know it's like you feel like you have to waste some money and all this stuff, and you have the book, might as well finish it out, but it's definitely a guilt thing. I sometimes picture celebrities in my head before I read because it helps me read. This is me. I have a very hard time picturing people in my head. Sometimes I don't even picture people. I don't even know what I'm picturing in my head. But when I really need to picture someone, I'll pick a celebrity that's described kind of the same as the author does. Like if an author doesn't give me a description of a person, I can't figure it out. I can't describe it in my head and imagine it. It's so hard. I don't know why. So I do the same thing. I don't see a lot of people talking about this, but I will choose a celebrity if I can't figure out what they look like. And along with that one, am I the only one that has issues of imagining actual faces when reading? It's vibes with me. I don't know why it's hard for me to picture people. It's vibes. It really is just vibes, is what I'm just feeling while I'm reading. It's so weird, but yeah, I am the same way. Vibes all around. The TV series The Summer I Turned Pretty is better than the books. I agree. I feel like a lot of people say books are better than movies, read the book before the movie, and I agree with that. Like, definitely read it before watching it, just because you also could see what you were reading, like, in not real life, but like on a screen, and like I feel like you could compare it to the book. I feel like always reading first and then like seeing it, visualizing it in real life. But I personally enjoyed the show, at least for the comparison to the first book. I don't know about the second and whatever the next season will be. I liked the show better. I think it's a comfort read for sure, and obviously it's young adult. It was just so, like, at some points just bland, I feel like. I don't know. The show has more personality, I feel like, and I loved the characters, the music choice. Like, it was really nice seeing it come to life on the screen, and I feel like it was just like a little bit better than the book. Controversial here. BookTube is greater than BookTok. Obviously there's different reasons people do either one, watch either one. I'm a little biased because I do BookTube, but we're not going to talk about it in that way, a creator on it. We're going to talk about watching it. I like both for different reasons. So like BookTok, I love watching because you get short videos. There's some aesthetic videos you get on books, which I really love. BookTube I love watching for opinions and just watching people talk about books I love. Now on the posting side, obviously I post on BookTube. I absolutely love doing this. My favorite thing in the entire world. I post on TikTok, but not really specific book related things because people scare me on TikTok. There's this weird thing going on over there that's like people love to bash on people's opinions and videos and stuff, and I'm just like scared of it, so I try not to. Personally, for watching, sometimes I like BookTok better. For posting, BookTok scares me. This one said love long books. I feel like a lot of people are intimidated by long books. Me personally too. I feel like you get scared that you're gonna get in a slump. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be worth it. You're wasting time. Those are all of my fears. But when you get a good long book and you're in the world, and that's when I feel like it's good. And sometimes it's worth it. But I feel like it's definitely an unpopular opinion. A lot of people I feel like are intimidated, a lot of people being me, by a long book. But you know, sometimes it's worth it. I prefer reading on my phone or Kindle over physical copy. This is very unpopular. I just want to show this one because I feel like not a lot of people feel like this. I don't really have an opinion on this one, but I feel like this was unpopular enough that I could include it. So I feel like a lot of people don't like or are very hesitant to get a Kindle or read on their phone or read electronically, and they'd rather have a physical book in their hand, so I thought I should include this. I felt it's unpopular enough. I usually don't like epilogues that are a few years later when they're married and have a lot of kids. I'm gonna be honest here. I think a lot of people love epilogues because you get like that closure. I personally think books shouldn't have an epilogue unless you need an epilogue, unless you didn't give the closure in the end of the book and like you need to wrap it up in the epilogue. Include the epilogue. But when you have an epilogue, like say at the end of a romance book where it's just like 5 years in the future and you're showing me their Christmas day when they have 2 kids, did I need that? Like, no. Like, I'll just skim over it and I'm just like, so I don't want to read that, which is kind of messed up. But like some epilogues I feel like aren't needed, so agreed. Character driven over plot driven. Just whatever type of person you are, either you like plot driven books or character driven books. I'm a character driven book. I like when the characters have the personality. You get the background and you feel like you know the characters. Actually, am I? There's some books where I love the plot but didn't really care for the characters. Here's the thing. When you're reading a romance book, I like character driven. I like the characters having more of a spotlight. When it's like a thriller book, I don't really care too much about the characters. The plot's gotta be really good. The plot's gotta get me, you know what I mean? Like a mystery thriller book. So I think this is more, it just really depends. Read what you're in the mood for instead of forcing yourself to read your TBR pile. And I wish I was like this. It's so hard, especially having like a physical TBR. Like, I feel like a lot of us have books on our shelves that we just don't read and just stare at all day long. Like, my TBR cart just haunts me because it also hurts when I'm done with a book and I want to go buy another one to read, and like people will recommend me a book. I feel like I can't buy it because I have so many staring at me that I need to read, and this is another guilt thing. So this one's hard. Reading 3 amazing books is better than reading 15 okay or good books. I feel like sometimes people feel like it's a competition to see how many books you can read in a month, and that gets hard because then you're like, oh, I only read like 2 books this month. Reading is reading. If you finish 1 book, if it takes you a month to finish a book, you finished a book. Like, that's an accomplishment in itself. So it doesn't matter how many books you read, as long as you're reading and you're enjoying it and you're having fun. But I totally agree with this one. I feel like you read 3 5-star reads in a month. I would rather that over reading 20 books in a month. You know what I mean? And all of them being like, eh. Reading slumps are good for you. I feel like so many people just, you get in a slump and you're just so defeated, and that was me a few weeks ago. I feel like we need to take this mentality and this unpopular opinion and just like remember it. If I didn't have that reading slump, I feel like I wouldn't have enjoyed my more recent books, because being in a slump helps so much. You take a break. That's what I did when I was in it. I reread a 5-star read and then I took like a week break off of reading, and it just helped so much. Then you enjoy what you read next even more. Those were all of my opinions that I have chosen to talk about, and I feel like I gave most of mine for all of them. Does that make sense? I don't think so. I feel like I gave my opinion on all of them too. So you've got my opinions, you've got everyone else's opinions. We've talked about them. I feel like they were good. They weren't too controversial. I feel like they were all pretty normal. Some weren't like too unpopular, but I feel like I wanted to talk about it. I like talking sometimes in these videos and not just like doing reading vlogs and stuff. So if you have any other sit down book videos you want to see from me, please let me know, because I don't have that many planned. I feel like I have more reading vlogs planned. This was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Thank you guys for listening to me talk for so long and watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you did, and I'll see you hopefully in the next one. Bye!